God, shalom, shalom. Give us a couple minutes. We'll get started. Shalom, my faithful servants. How y'all doing? We're getting stuff together over here, man. We was doing things. Way back now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pray after we finish Sabbath service. After I finish the Torah portion, we're gonna pray. That's how we're gonna do it today. All right, just to get through things a lot quicker. All right. How's everybody doing? I pray everybody's doing well. We over here, we doing real good. We're doing well. We eating good. Enjoying the Sabbath. It's gonna be a double Sabbath. All right, we're gonna go into the Shabbat one. All right. How's my 100 wives doing? I'm joking with y'all. I'm joking with y'all. I got 100 wives. We got one more brother lagging behind. Give me a sec. It's a lot about that, y'all. I'm back. Like I said, we're gonna do things differently. We're not gonna do prayers before Shabbat services. We're gonna do all the prayers afterwards. We want to keep things rolling in good spirits, get people up on here. All right, but I'm gonna salute in. So let me take myself off of this and put myself on live. Bam. There we go. Turn the lights on. Turn TV on. God, God. Shalom, shalom. All right. Boy, these birds be singing out here. So, hey, man, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. And we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Shemai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh Akhet. Hero Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. All right. So, let me get my sword. Quizzic. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Hey, Zanat, come over here and read. Let me share my screen real quick for y'all. Hey, shalom to everybody popping up. The water for joining us. We're about to go through these Torah portions, go through the law. It's very important since you will be judged by it. So, we'll start Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26. I do believe so. Yes. That's where we'll start today. Yes. All right, go ahead. Start.
Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26. Behold, I have set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God,
Right.
which I command you this day, and a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out of the way, which I command you this day, to go after other gods which ye have not known.
So he has set before us a blessing and a curse. Now we can think about that. That's why bad things happen to people, especially when the Most High said, "Hey, go see a physician when you fall into sin," because everybody's doing something they are not supposed to be doing. So it's already set. He already set it before you. You don't have to watch for it because once you do the bad thing, here comes the wrong thing. Something is going to happen to you. It's a punishment. As his father, and you are we are married unto the Most High as the children of Israel. We are married unto the Most High. He has set before us a blessing and a curse, and now here goes the what you will call the judgments of these things if you do these things, right? And you got 4 statutes: moral, civil, dietary, and ceremonial. So when you start breaking them, here goes judgment. But he gives you commandments of those 4 to not do, right? But the thing is, give me Sirach 11 and 27. This is what happens because we're in captivity. We're in captivity, so things happen. Okay. Yeah. Give me Sirach 13:1, Baba Kashar. You guys, y'all should be writing these precepts down that we use. Hey, read that when you get it, Bon.
This is Sirach, chapter 11, verse 27. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and his end, his deeds shall be discovered.
Why? Because he set forth a blessing and a curse. That's why his deeds are going to be discovered. But an hour of affliction, it said, will make a man forget what?
Forget his pleasure.
Forget your pleasure. You're supposed to have pleasure in the Lord and doing his will. That's why the curses are coming upon us. Because the affliction that we are in, could be a relationship, could be a friendship, could be your own people, could be a job. It can be anything that afflicts you. All right? And it could be this. Read that real quick.
Book of Sirach, chapter 13, verse 1. That toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him.
He that touches pitch with the what?
Shall be defiled.
Shall be defiled. What's that pitch? That's that BS y'all around. And you having fellowship with that proud man. That's the things that he do. That's that proud man you hanging out with. He that touches pitch shall be defiled thereof. That abomination, that curse. And he that have fellowship with a proud man should be what?
Shall be like unto him.
Gonna be like unto him. Because he touching that pitch too. He touching that abomination and you think it's cool. And that's how people get caught up because they go fellowship with friends and their friends are touching that pitch. Their friends are touching that abomination and he's not looking for it because it's like, man, it's my bros, you know what I'm saying? And I know they be doing bad and I'm going to look out for it, but you get caught up in the moment and you forget about it. That's what happens. You get caught up in that moment. So let's continue back at Deuteronomy. You got a precept?
No.
All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 29. And it shall come to pass when the Lord thy God hath brought thee in unto the land, whether thou goest to possess it, thou shalt put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim, and the curse upon Mount Ebal. Are they not the other side Jordan? But by the way.
All right, stop real quick. Hey, give me Sirach 17 and 11, Nakaraka. Start at 20, verse 29 again, Nakaraka. Read that again.
Verse 29. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord thy God hath brought thee in unto the land, whether thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim, and the curse upon Mount Ebal.
He set before you today a blessing and a curse. But the covenant is with these people. And when people read this, they're going to be like, see, man, I don't understand that, bro. This is a religion. This is a religion. What are y'all doing, man? Y'all are crazy. Read that real quick.
There's the book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 11.
Besides
this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
He gave us the knowledge and the law of life for heritage. Was that it?
Yeah.
He gave us the knowledge and the law of life for a heritage. We have a heritage. And what is the Most High doing? He's blessing his people. Like he said already in the scriptures, he said before us a blessing and a curse. And the blessing and the curse is part of the covenant that he gave the people. When you do good, I'll bless you. When you do bad, it's a curse. All right? Go ahead and read Zechariah.
Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 30. Are they not the other side Jordan, by the way where the sun goeth down, and the land of the Canaanites, which dwell in the champion over against Gilgal, beside the plains of Mored? For ye shall pass over Jordan to go and possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you, and ye shall possess it and dwell therein, and ye shall observe to do all the statutes and judgments which I set before you this day.
Khan, Kar Shara, the Bar Yahweh, Anayashai, Wanashama. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. Hey, pull Psalms 35 and 1 for me real quick. Let me pull it up here too. Read that again.
The book of Psalms, chapter 35, verse 1. Plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me.
And that's what everybody should be praying. Plead our cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. Because it's kind of hard to go out here. I mean, it gets easy once you start understanding what people are going to do. But when you get out there and you by yourself and you are handling your vessel the way it should be handled, and you need that extra oomph because these people are going to fight back against you. Keep reading.
Take hold of a shield and a buckler and stand up for my help.
Right. Keep going.
Draw out also the spear and stop the way against them that persecute me. Say unto my soul, I am thy salvation.
And what is that spear? What is that buckler? It's these precepts. It's these scriptures. It's how you get them. This is how you get them. This is how you move them out the way. All right. So Zanak, let's go over to Deuteronomy 12. Book, chapter, and verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
These are the statutes and judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land which the Lord God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it, all the days that ye live upon the earth.
Exactly. Just real quick. So when you come into a land at all times, when you go into a city, if we are in San Diego, California, right? If we move to Chula Vista, if we move to Bakersfield, if we move to LA, all right, these are the statutes which ye shall observe to do in the land which the Lord God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess, all the days that ye live upon this earth. So when you go to Bakersfield, you're going to keep this. When you go to LA, you're going to keep this. Chula Vista, San Diego, all right, Atlanta, wherever you go, you're going to keep this. Why? Because you're always going to fall. I'm not going to say you're going to fall, but you will always find people that feel you're a cool person to hang out with, and you're kicking with them. You know, say they know who you are, you know who they are, and you hang out with them, but they will always do some wicked-ish. I go through it on a daily basis. I go through it. I got a it's a correct brother that work with me, man. He eats everything on a pig from the root to the tooth. And I'll be like, real cool about stuff, man. Like, nah, bro, I'm good. You know, I don't do that. Come on, man. He's like, I know, man. I'm just offering, you know. And that's how Issachar is, bro. Issachar is a very polite man. You know what I'm saying? He likes to offer things. But still, as the average sinner, they're going to keep asking you because they forget about it because they're so used to doing it. Go ahead, read.
Verse 2. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the high upon the hills and under every green tree. And ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. And ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place.
Okay.
You shall not do so unto the Lord your God, but unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes.
That means when you come into a land, you're to destroy their altars, their churches, their religion, their gods. You should not do that to the Most High. He's the one that brought you into the land. Go ahead.
To put his name there, even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither shalt thou come.
Right.
Verse 6. And thither ye shall bring your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and heave offerings of your hand, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and the firstlings of your herds, and of your flocks.
Now, what happened if we went into their land? And give me Numbers 33 and 55 in the Korah. What would happen if we didn't tear down their altars and everything else? What would happen if there was people in that land? Still, the Most High is going to have us kill them. But what will happen if we didn't drive all those things out? Read that when you get it, Baba Kishar.
Book of Numbers, chapter 33, verse 55. But if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein ye dwell.
And that's what's going to happen. They're going to be pricks in our sides and thorns in our eyes. That's what will happen if we don't start driving these nations out when we get into there. And their religion. Their religion's going to do that. It's going to be a constant. Like today, you got Christianity, you got Islam, and you talk and fight with all types of people because there's religion in the land. But we brought up the Most High gave us a heritage. It's not a religion. Heritage has customs and it has laws. And it has dietary, and it has morals, and it has civil laws, and it has ceremonial laws. It's in heritage, not a religion. All right? Go ahead, Zanakaria.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 7. And there ye shall eat before the Lord your God, and ye shall rejoice at all that you put your hand unto, ye and your household, wherein the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. For ye are not as yet come to the rest, and to the inheritance which the Lord your God giveth you.
So that's what you should not do. You should not be doing everything right in your own eyes. I feel, it's my spirit that's telling me, you know what I'm saying? It's my chakras. My chakras are in line. I wish you knew about the chakras, but you don't. A lot of you do, and a lot of you don't. But you're not supposed to be doing what you're supposed to do when you come into a land. That is crazy. These people that push these laws of home of the free, land of the brave, and all that stuff, do what you want to do. Everybody do what you want to do. That is crazy. That's not order. Where you at, Tanakh?
Verse 10.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 10. But when ye go over Jordan and dwell in the land, shall Lord your God giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety, then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there.
And that will be the temple. Go ahead.
Thither shall ye bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your heave offering
Right.
of your hand, and all your choice vows, which ye vow unto the Lord. And ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God, ye and your sons, and your daughters, and your menservants, and your maidservants, and the Levite that is within your gates. For as much he has no part nor inheritance with you, take heed to thyself, that thou offer not thy burnt offering in every place that thou seest, but in the place which the Lord shall choose in one of thy tribes. There thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, and there thou shalt do all that I command thee. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth
So
after.
when it first started, Moses was telling the children of Israel everything Yahweh said. He said, all right, cool. This is wherever I choose to put my name there, this is where you're going to be the sacrifices and the offerings. And now Moses was like, but understand, you're able to eat meat wherever you choose. But watch, when it goes over, when it starts to go, he's going to start breaking everything down. Now he's going into, well, you are allowed to eat meat at your choice and whatever your heart desire. But it's these ones you're going to have to bring at all times. Go ahead and read. What verse?
Verse 15.
Go ahead.
Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after,
Right.
according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and of the hart.
And these things have meat. They're meat for us to eat. Thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates. Yahweh told him to tell us this. Go ahead. 16.
16. 20. You shall not eat the blood, ye shall pour it upon the earth as water. Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or of thy wine, or of the oil of thy firstlings of the herds, or of thy flock, nor of any of thy vows which thou vowest, nor thy freewill offerings, or heave
All right,
offerings.
stop real quick. Hey, give me Acts 26 and 18, Lakar. There's a purpose. There's a purpose for telling y'all this.
Six and
26 and 18.
Book of Acts, chapter 26, verse 18, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan unto God.
Start a precept up, Baba Kasha.
Verse 17, deliver thee from the people and from the Gentiles until now I send thee, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of sin and inheritance amongst them which are sanctified by faith that is in.
All right. So that's the point of us coming to you with these scriptures and the understanding, because there's a lot of doctrines out there for one. There's a lot of doctrines out there saying you can't eat meat. But we just, according to this right here, that's a lie. That it's a lie. It's not true at all. It is not true. Right? So what we're trying to do is open your eyes to the understanding of what's going on and what people are doing and what they're saying, because the Most High has closed their eyes. Probably because they have exalted themselves. And the Most High take the spirit from you. The spirit that you got to teach, the spirit you got to learn, you know what I'm saying? He'll take that right from you. Matter of fact, he gave that job to his son. Yahweh Shai is going to come around putting the lights out of people who are settled upon their leaves. Oh, you just settled, man. You're not trying to do nothing. Okay, you settled. Gotcha. Take it right from you. Next thing you know, something horrible is happening to you. And that's why we are here. We are here to do these videos week in and week out to help you to go through the law. That way you know and understand. Ask questions. Let me see. Y'all don't ask questions. You're going to fall short in that day. You need to hear it out the law. All right? You need to hear it out the law first. You need to see where the prophets got it from. That's what you need. You need to see where the prophets got it from. Okay, now we understand. Now I understand it, right? Khan, I got it. Where you stop at, Zanakaria?
Verse 17.
Go ahead.
Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or of thy wine, or of thy oil, or the firstling of thy herds, or of thy flock, or any of thy vows which thou vowest, nor thy freewill offerings, or heave offerings of thine hand. But thou must eat them before the Lord thy God.
So when it said in 17, thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn or of thy wine, it's talking about your first gathering. You know what I'm saying? That your tithes, your tenths thereof. You can't eat the tenth that you're taking to the temple. You can't eat those within your gates. You can eat those when you get over there. That's when you get to eat them. Go ahead.
But thou must eat them before the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite that is within thy gates.
Right.
And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, and all that thou puttest thine hand unto.
So that's what the Most High wants you to do, is to enjoy it in His presence. To enjoy the food in His presence, the best of everything. Because the Most High is a king. He wants the best of everything. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 19. Take heed to thyself, Thou forsake not the Levite, as long as thou livest upon the earth. When the Lord thy God shall charge thy border, and he hath promised thee, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because thy soul longeth to eat flesh. Thou mayest eat flesh whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
So again, verse 20, and I'm going to read it. When the Lord thy God shall enlarge thy border as he hath promised thee, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because thy soul longeth to eat flesh, thou mayest eat flesh whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. All right? A lot of people wasn't putting this here, okay? You can eat meat. Go ahead.
Verse 21. If the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to put his name there be too far from thee, then thou shalt kill of thy herd and of thy flocks, which the Lord hath given thee, and I have commanded thee, and thou shalt eat in thy gates
As I have
commanded thee, and thou shalt eat in thy gates whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
So now you got people that are close to the Most High where he chooses to put his name is before verse 21. Now you got the people that are too far off. Hey, Jerusalem's way over there, right? We in San Diego. Is that too far for us to go? Very much so. Very, very much so. It's way too far. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill it and we're going to sacrifice it here. We're going to do the best we can because we don't have a temple. Right? Read.
Even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, so thou shalt eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat them alike.
That was very important. Did y'all catch on to that? Even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, so thou shalt eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. What is them? So thou shalt eat them. Is it talking about even the roebuck, or is it talking about the goat, the lamb, and everything else? Exactly. Now you see where people go off? You see what happens when they don't read the law? And they start picking up precepts and they just started. I mean, they read it, but they don't read it like we do. We read the law all the time. I read the law at least 5 to 6 times a week. And it'd be the same 4 chapters I would read that many times. And I will get a lot out of it and from it. Now imagine if somebody doesn't read the law and they will read it like once or twice. Man, I read it today. I'm gonna read it again Thursday and see what it says again. Because you know when you read something again, you get something different. So let's see let's see what comes out. But they don't read it as much. Even as the roebuck, you're going to eat those. You're going to eat that goat, that sheep, that ox, even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten. All right. So shalt thou eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. All right. Verse 23.
Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Thou shalt not eat it. Thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water. Thou shalt not eat it, that it may go well with thee, and with the children after thee, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of the Lord. Only thy holy things which thou hast, and thy vows, thou shalt take and go unto the place which the Lord shall choose. And thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of the Lord thy God.
Hold on real quick. Hey, give me Matthew 22 and 29, Baba Kushal. Where you at tonight?
27.
All right. Read that. Keep reading.
27. And thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of the Lord thy God. And the blood of the sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of the Lord thy God, and thou shalt eat the flesh. Observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee forever. And thou doest
when thou doest
when thou doest that which is good in the right in the sight of the Lord thy God, when the Lord thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee, whether thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their land, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God.
So when a person is snared, he's looked at with a crooked eye. People just
trapped, right?
Huh?
It's trapped.
Trapped? No. He said, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. After that, they be destroyed from before thee. When you go around people and people know that you do that, you're snared at. Snare can be a couple of different things. When the Most High says snare, it's the Most High is looking at you crazy. But let's go into this real quick. Like I said, it can be a couple of things when you say snared at. Be not snared. To lay snares, to be ensnared, to ensnare, to be struck, to strike at, to take him at, to be thrust after, be impelled, to strike down, to entrap with a noose, literally or figuratively, catch, lay a snare. I mean, a couple of different things, depending on how he's putting it. All right, where you at?
Verse 31.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, for every abomination to the Lord which he hated, have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods.
Mm-hmm.
What things soever I command you,
right,
observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto nor diminish from it.
Right. Khan. Ka Shara, Debar Yahweh, and Nayashai when Shemai. Although Yahweh said, what we doing here. And bring out that precept real quick, because according to what we just read about eating meat, not eating meat, where to eat meat, when you can't eat meat, and what is that, according to a certain extent where I will allow you to eat meat, that doctrine that is out, this whole chapter just Mike Tyson punched out it. Okay, read that real quick.
Book of Matthew, chapter 32, verse 29. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of God.
Again for me, Baba Kasha.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 29. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of God.
And that's what we're saying. You err because you don't know the power of God. You don't know the scriptures. Somebody is being proud. Somebody is being very, very proud. Somebody is talking about something they know not. And I'm not trying to say like meat, especially now what they be doing to meat. It's crazy. I mean, you don't have to bring up a doctrine just to get people not to eat meat to sell products. You don't got to do that. right, go ahead.
Chapter 13.
You see it? That's what's showing right now. Look at it. Go ahead.
Chapter 13.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God proveth you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And the prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of
Give me
bondage.
Daniel 12:3.
Redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. If thy brother.
All right, stop right there. And a sign or the wonder in verse 2. So this is just a fake prophet. He's prophesying something for another God. Read that real quick.
Book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. They that turn many to righteous as the stars forever and ever.
So they that turn many to righteousness shall shine as the stars forever and ever. But the wise that turn people from wickedness is going to shine. And that's what y'all got to do. Y'all got to see this happening. Y'all got to see this happening among people and check them and correct them. Because that's the wise man right there. He's going to be like, nah, bro, that's not right what he just said. And he's going to challenge that brother when he said, hold on. How is that even right? How are you even right by doing it? And then the other people that are around him that was going to follow him is going to listen. And they're going to be like, damn, bro, that ain't right. That is crazy, man. Hey, throw out it, brother. Thank you for that, man. We was about to follow that crazy ish. And they was. Because that brother right there, he persuaded them to do that. And it says, if in verse 1, it says, if there arise among you a prophet, a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass. It didn't say give you a sign or wonder from the scripture that is going to happen. He's just saying something's going to happen. That's how they persuade and get you. Man, and it's easy to tell that something's going to happen to somebody based off of what they're doing. Right? And saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, because he's going to say, hey, you know how I know that? Because I was doing this over here. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing it with that God over there. So I was doing this right here. That's how I knew that. All right, where you stop at?
6.
Go ahead.
If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or of thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is at thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers. Namely, other gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him. Neither shall thine eye pity him. Neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him.
Verse 9 is a big one. Go ahead.
Verse 9. But thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him, to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people.
So, ask yourself. We in the land, right? So like, we in the land, right? And one of y'all sons do this. Your dad do this. Your Abba. You see your Abba doing something wickedly wrong, man. And he's trying to turn people to other gods. Not doing something wrong, but he's trying. I mean, other than trying to turn this person is trying to turn everybody else to another god. Would y'all commence verse 9? Yeah. That's a hard thing to do, huh?
So no, it's the land that we're in.
I said we're in our land.
Oh, if we're in our land. Oh, then yeah, probably. That's well,
Why does it have to be done? What is the thought of why it has to be done?
you want to lead other people straight.
What about you, Nakaraka? Your son is over here trying to turn people. We in our land, and your son is trying to turn other people to other gods.
But if we're in our land and teach our sons the laws, what when it's the then have to put to death, not be judged by the God.
So why would you do it?
Because the Most High told me to do it. And much is saying, I follow what he's saying. That's gonna hurt me. He's gonna return it back to me. Like Job killed his family, his kids, and gave him back his kids. It's about having faith, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hurt.
Me? Yes. Without a shadow of a doubt. Even though I taught my son, even though I taught him the best I could, but I'd be damned if I return back to captivity again. I ain't going through this no more. At all. I'm not. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not returning into captivity. I'm not finna do another round of this. This is tiring and this is humiliating. Very humiliating. I'm not ever going to return to this again. I promise you that. It's crazy to even think of doing it. If somebody is, whatever's going on with you, man, pray about it. Whatever's going on with your family and your brethren, pray about it. That the Most High see them through. And he helped them. And he put the spirit back on them and liven them up. Because that turning people to other gods, being a fake prophet, being presumptuous, talking about something you know not right. Where'd you end at?
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt stone him with stones, that he die, because he has sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage.
Mm-hmm.
And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. If thou shalt hear say in one of thy cities, which the Lord thy God hath given thee to dwell there, saying,
Now, this is just going into what you should do before you kill him. This is what you're supposed to do. Is going into how you're supposed to handle this. Go ahead.
certain men, the children of
Bilal.
are gone out from among you.
They're calling them Bilal now. Go ahead.
And have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which ye have not known. Then shalt thou inquire and make search and ask diligently, and behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof, and the edge of the sword. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and thou shalt burn the fire with the city, and all the spoil thereof every whit for the Lord thy God, and it shall be in heap forever; it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave not of this cursed thing to thine hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and shew thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee, as he has sworn unto thy fathers. When thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep all his commandments which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord thy God.
Mm. And it shall be in heap forever. It shall not be built again, that town. Why? Because it's going to be an example to everybody what happens. The Most High loves leaving examples. This is what happened. Like when something is burnt out here, they'll build it up. But that's an example. It was a lot wrong going on over here. Your grandma's house burnt down to the house. Your grandpa's house burnt down to the ground. Something was going on over there. The Most High told his angels to burn that down. Right? So call Asherah, the Bar Yahweh, Anaya Shai, Wanashemai, all that Yahweh said. What are we doing here? All right, let's go to chapter 14. All right, let me read that real quick. It's Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 1. Ye are the children of the Lord. You shall not cut yourself, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. Let's see, I'm asking it wrong. See, how do I ask it?
Oh,
Go give me the cord before it dies. Battery dies. I'm just gonna show y'all something real quick, and I'm gonna pull something up. These were old Canaanite customs of putting tattoos between the eyes. This is stuff they did in Egypt. That's why the Most High said don't do that, because they were doing that in Egypt, putting tattoos between the eyes for the dead. Matter of fact, I got a better way of looking it up. Watch this. I was going to show you something. I'll look at it here. Let's go to here. You know, uh, yeah. Mm, mm. You know what, you guys? We're just gonna move on. And once I remember once I know where to go, I get it. All right. Deuteronomy 14:1. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. Originally, this is a Canaanite custom that is used in a time for the Canaanites that used, and our people started practicing the same thing. And it was also something used in Egypt. Because remember, we're coming out of Egypt, and the Most High doesn't want us to do those things that we did in that land. Verse 2. For thou art an holy people, unto the Lord thy God. And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. And now this same thing is found in Leviticus 13. I will block it out. All right. This is found in Leviticus 13 as well. And Moses is just going over it again. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the parag, right? And the wild ox, and the chiamos, and every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth and every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the clift, into two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat: of them that chew the cud, or of them that divideth the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These ye shall eat. Of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales shall ye eat. And whatsoever have not fins and scales ye may not eat. It is unclean unto you. Of all clean birds ye shall eat. Now it's going into the birds. All right. It went unto the fish, and it went unto the meat and animals. Of all clean birds ye shall eat. But these are they which ye shall not eat: the eagle, or the osprey, and the osprey, and the galede, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckow, and the hawk after his kind, the owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gyre eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lopwig, and the bat, and every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you. they shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls ye may eat. Chicken is clean. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger. Let's see who the stranger is. Sojourner, a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer, lacking inherited rights of foreigners in Israel through conceded rights. And they changed a lot of things up in here. That's why you can't always go by the blue letter Bible at all times. You got to know who the stranger is and what it's talking about. It's talking about an alien, talking about the heathen, the nations, the other people. Now, some Israelites lack rights. That don't make them a heathen. Some Israelites live way far off and they're not around the land with everybody else, and they're foreigners, but they're Israelites according to their fathers. This one is talking about a heathen. You can sell that stuff to them, but not your own people. Yeah. Once we catch on, they start changing stuff. That's the devil. All right, verse 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. Seed is talking about boiling. You can't boil a baby goat in his mother's milk. Can't do that. It's against the law. All right. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God, in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstling of thy herds, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, it's talking about liquidation, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then thou shalt turn it into money, and bind it up the money in thine hand, and shalt go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. See? So tithes is the corn, the herds, and all the above like that. So you can go to the church and give the pastor 2 bags of beans and say, here, these are tithes. And he said, these are not tithes. No, these are tithes. And the wait wasn't too long for thee. I didn't have to liquidate it. So I just bought you bags of beans. And if he said, where's that in the Bible? You come here. That's why y'all watch these things, so you don't be tricked or fooled. Y'all are being fooled these days because you don't read the law. All right? I'm going to read 26. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all thine tithe, all the tithe of thine increase. I'm going to read that again. At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and shalt lay it up within thy gates. And the Levite, because he hath no part, no inheritance with thee, and the stranger and the fatherless. This stranger is an inhabitant that lives far off. It's not the heathen. And the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hand which thou doest. Kol Shara, Debar Yahweh, Anaya Shai, Wanashemai. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. Hey, don't be fooled, man. That's what the Torah portion is for. It's to go over the law with you guys. And y'all know these things. So when you start reading the prophets and you go into the New Testament and stuff like that, and they start reiterating things, you know where it's coming from. You can go over there and be like, see, they got it from here. This you can show that the prophets read the law. You can show that Christ reads the law, because this is where it came from. Now, this is very important. How long have y'all known a friend that owes you money? This is a very good thing to know. Hold on. All right. Deuteronomy 15:1. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth out unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again. But that which is thine with thy brother, thine hand shall release. Bro, you don't owe me no more. It's the release. Calm down. Save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. Now, I had some precepts to that. I should have got those together for just for this. Hey, all the times I read it this week. Oh, this week I only read it. Let's see. 4 times, yeah. Four, 3 times. I think 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. Let me start at 3. Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but that which is thine with thy brother thine hand shall release. Save when there shall be no poor among you. For the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day, for the Lord thy God blesseth thee as he promised thee. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates, in thy land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need, and that which he wanteth. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart. The heart is wicked above all things. Saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy brother, by thy poor brother, and thou givest him naught, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be a sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that For this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thy hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor and to thy needy in thy land. And if thy brother in Hebrew man or in Hebrew woman be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt let him go away. Thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, and out of that wherewith the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. So, are they doing that these days? No. You got to really go to like a corporate job to get a severance package when you leave and stuff like that. They don't follow the law like that. They use the law in the courthouses. They use part of the law of the Bible in the courthouses. They just don't. It's only for us to be judged on. They want to be the Most High and judge it by the law of the Most High. They're not judging themselves. Just a bunch of hypocrites. You know, thou shalt not kill. Wife kills her husband, gets off. You know what I'm saying? No, thou shalt not murder, not kill. Sorry, thou shalt not murder. There's a such thing as a righteous kill. You sleep with my wife, it's a righteous kill. Both of y'all. All right? That's righteous. Right? You rape my wife, that's a righteous kill.
You accidentally kill someone.
Well, if you accidentally kill somebody, it's an accident. It's not a righteous kill.
Well, you're not righteous kill, but
It's not anything. It's just an accidental death.
so that's why it's murder, because if you murder someone, that means you planned it out to go and kill that person.
Well, that's not a murder either. But if you murder someone, that would be an unrighteous kill. Verse 15. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee, and thine house, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an oval and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee, in serving thee 6 years. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all that thou doest. All the firstling males that come from thy herd and of thy flock thou shalt sanctify unto the Lord thy God, and separate from everything else. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy flock, of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. Thou shalt eat it before the Lord thy God by year, in the place which the Lord shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, all right, and it's going to tell you what a blemish is, as if it be lame or blind or have any blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God. That's a blemish. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof. Thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water. Ka Shara, Debar Yahweh, Anai Shai, Wana Shemai. All that Yahweh said, what we do here. Give me a sec, folks. Con. Yabashim Ashab Rakatah, walk the water for your ties. All right. Hold on. Mm, okay, cool. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib. This is the new year. Abib. It's the new year. Let's see what Abib means. Abib, in the ear, green ears of corn, fresh young barley ears. The beginning of harvest, right? Fresh young barley ears. Barley. Month of ear forming, of greening, of crop, of greening, of growing green. Abib. Month of Exodus and Passover. March and April. To get in the harvest. Right or wrong? Exactly. All right, Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee from out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God, of the flock and the herd, in the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there. Right? Thou shalt not eat leavened bread with it. It's like thou shalt not eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread, and there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days. Neither shall there anything, neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrifice the first day at evening remain all night until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Again, thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. There is stipulations to that, according to chapter 14 and 12. I think chapter 12 only. No, 13, right? According to chapter 13, pretty sure. Matter of fact, let me check. According to chapter 12. All right. All right, verse 6. But at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou comest forth out of Egypt, the new year. Right? And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread. So before I go to this one, what I just read, and thou shalt roast it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. Why is everybody going to sleep in the morning? Gotta catch on to that. That's what it says right there. And thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. Crazy, huh? See, nobody caught on to that. I caught on to that and was like, let's see if they was paying attention to this.
Why?
I don't know why. If I do, it'll go in on a lot of things. We can talk about it a different time.
Is it about they start at night?
Mm-hmm. The day started at night. The morning's when you sleep, but the morning looks different. Everything is turned upside down. This is about the best to get to turn decline of day. To turn toward approach of evening. These two have a lot to do with each other right here. Right? Precept upon precept, it can be showed to you what's talking. Right? Verse 8. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee, being to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. All right? 7 weeks. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God with a tribute of a freewill offering of thy hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God, according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to place his name there. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe to do these statutes. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days, after thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine, and thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thine hand. Therefore shalt thou surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread. Let me say that again in verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. All right, I went too far. We'll stop at 17. Slack. Just got moved. So what we're going to do is go to where?
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 11.
54. All right, con. Let me get to this. And Isaiah chapter 54, verse 11. Excuse me. If y'all was tuned in to the camp last night, I also went through this at camp, but I went through the whole chapter. But today I'm just going to be starting at verse 11. All right, so this is Isaiah. Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 11. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. And you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Forget it, man. We gotta get this in context. All right. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 1. Sing, O barren, and thou didst not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, thou that didst not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, saith the Lord. All right, so it's telling the people that have not bearing children to sing aloud, to cry out. All right, cry aloud. All right, verse 2. Enlarge the place. It says, enlarge the place of thy tent, right? And let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not. Lengthen thy cords and strengthen thy stakes. All right, the stakes, that's what keeps the tent down. All right, that's the foundation of the tent, right? So you need to strengthen your foundation. You need to enlarge your tent. All right, you need to expand. All right, I should say, first you need to expand your mind. All right, your heart. You need to expand that, bring in more knowledge. All right, you need to strengthen up that tent of yours. Right? But it's also, right, it's telling you to bring forth children and cry aloud. So that means open your tent, bring in more children. All right, bring in more fruit. All right, verse 3. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. It said that you need to do all these things. You need to strengthen your house and you need to strengthen your mind because you're going to break forth on the left and the right. All right, and you're going to inherit the Gentiles. All right, it says, fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be confounded. For thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. All right, so it's telling you the things that you used to do and the reproach that you was in when you was in this captivity shall be no more. All right, verse 5. All right, verse 5. For thy maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is his name. All right, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth, shall he be called.
All right. So the Most High, He is our husband. We are the wife. All right. He is sending us, right, to bear children. He is telling us to bear children. All right. That's us coming out here on these highways and byways to teach the people of the Most High. That's how we bear children. All right. Verse 6. For the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou wast refused, saith thy God. For a small moment I have forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. All right, the Most High said that he turned his face from us. All right, but with great mercies, he's going to bring us back. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith the Lord thy Redeemer. For this is the waters of Noah unto me. For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. All right, so he's saying just like the covenant that he made with us to not flood the earth anymore, the same that he is telling us that he is not going to hate us anymore. All right. Verse 10. For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord that hath mercy on thee. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. And I will make thy windows of gates, and thy gates of carbuncles, and all the borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. All right. This is what the Most High is telling us He's going to do for us once we come back and we bear our children and we expand our house and then we build our foundation, build our foundation of righteousness. All right. This is what the Most High is telling us to do, and this is the things, and this is our reward. All right. Verse 15. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth the instrument for his work. All right, what is that work? What is that instrument that we use to bring forth the work of the Most High? And I have created the waster to destroy. What is that instrument? That is the Holy Scriptures. All right, that's the instrument that the Most High has gave us to blow the coals of the fire. All right, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. All right, because when our tent is expanded and when our stakes are firmly planted into the ground, we are unstoppable. We cannot be removed from our doctrine and what we stand on, what we believe in. All right, this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and the righteousness of me, saith the Lord. All right, this is our heritage. All right, this is our righteousness. Our righteousness and our heritage isn't rapping, dancing, and breakdancing and everything. No. All right, it's of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So now we're going to go to chapter 55. All right. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 1. Oh, every one that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and ye that have no money, come ye. All right. So let's see what that waters is. All right, because the waters is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But people don't see the importance of getting that water. So let's go to John chapter 7. All right, and verse 38. He that believeth on me, right, this is Christ speaking. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So it said, ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. All right. The doctrine of Hamashiach Yahweh, who has gotten from his only begotten Father, Yahweh. All right. That's the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And he that hath no money, come ye buy and eat. Ye come, buy wine and milk without money, without price. All right, we're giving you that spiritual bread. All right, that spiritual wine, the things that will fill you up in the spirit of the Most High. All right. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, Or you go out there and you get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, or which is not really knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You get doctrines, you get stones, you get crystals from other things that are not going to give you anything but a false understanding. And your labor for that which satisfieth not. Or you laboring are not satisfied. You work daily and are still not satisfied. You are still oppressed. Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and a commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that knowest not, and the nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee, because the Lord thy God, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. All right, so when you get this knowledge and understanding, other nations are going to run to you. All right, that's how glorified you're going to be. Where are we going in the gospel?
John 6,
John 6, 35 to 51. All right. John chapter 6, verse 35. And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. This is what we was just reading right now in Isaiah 55 and 1. All right, said him that thirsteth, come and drink.
I'm thirsty.
John 6 and 36. But I said unto you that you also have seen me and believe not. All right, that's that lack of faith that we've seen throughout all the scriptures. All right, especially in the Torah. Verse 37. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me will in no wise cast out. So all that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. All right, whoever comes to Yahushua, he's not going to cast him out. Whoever comes to the Most High for that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to get that knowledge, wisdom, understanding through all humility.
That's right.
Verse 38, for I come down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me. All right, Yahushua, he's not coming down because, saying, of his own will, or, saying some fundraiser or something that he was doing. It was because the Most High sent him. All right. And this is the Father's will, which hath sent me, that all which he hath given me, I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day.
Talking about the elect.
Come.
The thing the Most High gave him was talking about the elect.
All right, verse 41. The Jews then murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. All right, so they're talking to each other like, oh man, he's blaspheming. He's a blasphemer. All right. Verse 642. And they said, is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he saith, I came down from heaven? All right. He's saying, man, you was born of a father and a mother, man. You're just like us. How are you come down from heaven, right? Jesus therefore answered and said unto them. And as you see right here, right, this breaks the Immaculate Conception. Because even the Jews are saying, oh, hey, man, you was born of a father and a mother. Right? Jesus therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him.
You got some brothers in Israel that believe in Immaculate Conception, despite all the precepts you put.
Verse 44. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets. I'm sorry. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of God. Every man therefore that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. Not that any man hath seen the Father, save he which is of God. He hath seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness, and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. So he's saying, man, those people that was in the wilderness and ate manna are dead, but this bread that I give you, all right, it's giving you everlasting life, you will not die. And that's that everlasting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right, you woke. What were we reading verse? To verse 53? 55? Verse 51. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. All right, that's talking about how he put himself as a sacrifice. All right, the Jews thereof strove among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? Right, so they're being literal, like, man, he's going to cut his finger off and give it to us? Then Jesus said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man, and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drinking indeed. So that's the end of Torah portions. Being done with prayer.
Shalom, Yasharala. Hey, we finna end out with these prayers, all right? It was about a minute. All right. God, this is the Abanawa, talking the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9 to 13. Abanawa, Shemai, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malafka, Tabaa, Ratazaka, Hayah, Asha, Baratazah, Kahaya, Bashmai, Shemai, now come, call your one, Wasalaki, Kabawaki, Kasalaki, Wakina, Wala, now, then Sayon, Abo, Awashai, Ra, Kaya, Ka, Amalakwa, Allah, Patapara, Lamia, Shem, Shah, Shia, Father, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, hallowed be thy name, hallowed, the kingdom come, the kingdom come, will be done here on earth, heaven as it is in heaven. Give us this day, give us this day, our daily bread, and bread forgive us, our debts, we forgive, as we forgive our debtors, and debtors. Not into temptation, deliver us, from evil. Thine is the kingdom, thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, ever. Shem, Bashim, Yahusha, Mashiach, Hashem, Shah, Mashiach. This is Asherah. Blessed are they that dwell in thy house. They will still be praising, said God. Happy is that people in such a case, yea. Happy is that people whose Alahai is Yahweh. I will extol thee, my Alahai, O King. I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works. Men shall speak of thy glory, thy might, and men shall speak of thy might, thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, his tender mercies over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, Yahweh. Thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom, shall talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts, and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall, and raises up all those that be bowed down. Bow down. The eyes of all wait upon thee. Thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thy hand and satisfiest the desire of every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh unto all them that call upon him. To all that call upon him in truth, he will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak of the praises of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. But we will bless the Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah. 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 Hashem. Hashem. Yahushua. Yahushua. Mashiach. All right. First, you praise Namada, Abawa, Ra, Ta, Nahau, Alahayinau, Alahayin, Batanau, Alahaya, Baraham, Alahaya, Tazakwa, Alahaya, Yakwa, Sharia, Allah, Gabo, Salayam, Ra, Ta, Nahau, Makan, Baraham, Gabo, Tayau, Sakata, Yahau, Gabo, Abulam, Yahau, Kaya, Batayam, Ya, Yawama, Ta, Laka, Muka, Abulam, Mamiya, Umakiya, Arak, Ata, Yahau, Makaya, Yum, for the workshop, Shemihau, Yahau, Ata, Kadayash, Kadawash, Wakadawashim, Paul, Yawam, Allah, Barak, Ata, Yahau, Ha'ala, Hakadawash, bless you, How, power of fathers, power of Abraham, power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, Almighty power, most high power, bestows mercy, bless you, Yahweh, shield of Abraham, Almighty Yahweh, forever, Yahweh, who receives the dead, who is comparable to you, King of eternity, cause death, he is life, bless you, Yahweh, gives life to the dead, you are holy Yahweh, your name is holy, you're the holy ones, every day, praise you forever.
Blessed you, how, how we know, Hashem, Yahshua, Hamashiach.
Psalm for the Shabbat day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh, to sing praises unto thy name, Most High. To shoot forth thy love and kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon a talustrum, upon the harp with a solemn sound. Thou Yahweh hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in thy works of thy hands. How great are thy works! How great are thy works! And thy thoughts are very deep, which man knoweth not. Neither doeth a fool understand this. Wicked shall spring as the grass. When all the workers of iniquity flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. Thou Yahweh art most high forever. Lo, thy enemies, Yahweh, for lo thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemy, and my ear shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the course of our Alahai. They shall still bring forth fruit and dates. They shall be fat and flourishing. To shew that Yahweh is upright, he is my rock, there is no unrighteousness in him. Hallelujah,
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 Hashem,
Hashem,
Yahshua, Mashiach. It is our duty to praise the Master of all, to ascribe greatness to the author of creation, who has not made us like the nations of the lands, nor placed us like the families of the earth, who has not made our portion like theirs, nor our destiny like all their multitudes. They worship vanity, thinking, pray to a God who cannot save, but we bow in worship. Thank the Supreme King, the Holy One. Blessed be He who extends the heavens, establishes the earth. Whose throne of glory is in the heavens above, and whose power's presence is in the highest of heights. He is our God, no other. Truly, He is our King. There is none else. As it is written in His Torah, you shall know and take to heart this day that the Yahweh's Elohim, heaven above and on the earth below, no other. Hallelujah,
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 hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hashem,
Hashem,
Yahshua,
Hashem,
Mashiach, Shem, Yahshua, Shem, Yahshua, Shem, Yahshua, Yahweh, Shema, Yahshua, Yahweh, Allah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Achad, Israel, the Lord.
You should take commandments to love and love thy neighbor like yourself. Aniyah, Yahweh, Ahayaka,
Allahayaka,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Hawatazah,
Awatazah,
Atika,
Atika,
Ratazah,
Awatazah,
Ratazayim,
Awatazayim,
Abathim,
Abathim,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Ka,
Ka,
Allahayim,
Hayim,
Karim,
Korim,
Apanya, La'ah,
La'ah,
Ta'isha,
Aisha,
Laka,
Laka,
Saul,
Rasul,
La'ah, Ta'ibadam,
Ta'ibadam,
Ah,
La'ah,
Korka,
Korka,
Atshem,
Atshem,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ashua,
Shua,
Zakar,
Zakor,
Hayawun,
Hayawun,
Hashubah,
Ashubah,
Lapidash,
Lakash,
Sabai,
Bad,
Abaka,
Abaka,
Wa,
Wa,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Ratazah,
Ratazah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Dana'ah,
La'ah,
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 Dana'ah,
La'ah,
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 Dana'ah,
La'ah,
Shakur,
Shakur,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Dakamad,
La'ah,
Paul,
Paul,
Asherah,
Asherah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
First greatest commandment. Remember Israel, Yahweh, God, Yahweh is one. I shall Yahweh thy God with my heart, my soul, my life. Second greatest commandment is I to the Torah, Anta, Abda, Abda, who will come and Yahweh. Thou shalt not avenge, nor prejudice the children of people. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Yeah. Since Ark 1, I shall humble one. Now when Yahweh Shai was in death, house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman, having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they said, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence when its wages given to the poor. Yahweh Shai understood. He said unto him, I show you the woman, for she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but ye have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for burial. Pray that saying to you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done to memorial of her. Hallelujah.
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 Hashem. Hashem. Shai.
Yahusha.
Mashiach.
Mashiach. Come. Want the water Yahweh, want the water Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai for this day's service. The water to Yasharallah for y'all for doing a good job and staying with us. Shalom.